So we're going to start by checking in. Our feet are in parallel, hip width apart underneath us, maybe even shoulder width a little bit if that's more comfortable. We're going to inhale and shrug the shoulders up towards the ears. Exhale, soften and send them down and away. Inhale, shoulders up. Exhale, soften. One more time. And release. On our next one, we're going to inhale and reach the arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale and push them down in front of you. Inhale as if you're taking a big jumper off, cut across the body, peel. And exhale and push out into the corners of the rooms towards the ceiling as well. Inhale here. Exhale, soften, bend in the knees and round and contract over a massive beach ball. So keep a soft bend in the knees, hug the bottom ribs back, hug the air in front of you. Shake out through the arms and unroll all the way up to standing. Take that breathing freeze again. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, push down. Inhale, jumpers off. Exhale, push the ceiling away. Inhale. Exhale, soften, round and contract. Inhale, shaking out. And unroll all the way up to standing. Taking a little check in here. We're going to move through a stretch for the head, neck and shoulders. So just do a little figuration. Gently looking up and center. And then look down to the floor and center. Taking a peek to your right and center and your left and center. Maybe ear to shoulder and the other way. Excuse me. And again, take a gentle peek down and center. Looking up towards the sky and center. Take a look over one shoulder and center. Other side, center. Have a little shake out there. My apologies, I know I'm going to cough. Scanning through the body, we started with the head. Move through the shoulders, start to circle them back. 4, 3, 2, 1, and shrug them forward for 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming down to the pelvis and taking it in figure of 8. Soft bend in the knees, the feet can be wider. And then in the opposite direction. Keeping this wider stance, soften in the knees and allow the hands to come down onto the thighs, just above the knees. Turn the hands in a little bit so the elbows are pointing out. And we soften in the spine. We're going to round through the spine into our cat stretch. Inhale, open the sitting bones, allow the spine to undulate through. So we're almost doing our standing cat-cow. So as you open through the sitting bones, that's it. And then press the floor away. Opening through, loving as I do cat-cow, the cat has come into the room. Great. I thought I'd close the door. Rounding through, open sitting bones, coming through with your gaze. Now in your last one, as you exhale and round the spine, you can release the arms and unroll all the way up to standing. Take the feet a little bit wider again, and we're just going for gentle swings, taking a look to one side of the room and then the other, letting the arms wrap around. You'll notice the other leg is coming up. You can have a gentle bend. That's it. Good. And then coming back through to center, we can let that dissipate out. We're then going to come onto our chair. So you ideally want a chair without any sides to it, so we can move around it a little bit. Maybe something from your kitchen table is a bit more stable. And we're going to come to sit on the chair. And we're going to have either a theraband, which is a long band with elastic resistance, excuse me, or some of them you have loops, and they're just a little bit easier, means you don't have to tie any knots. So we're going to thread our feet through, or you're going to wrap your long theraband around the thighs, mid of the thigh, tie a little knot. Just so we've got a little bit of resistance to work with. And already from there, we start to notice that the knees want to knock together a little bit, just because of the band or whatever we're using. Could be a pair of tights as well. So we want to then find that sense of finding our sitting bones onto the chair. Have a little wriggle here. Find both feet down in parallel, and we notice we've got a gentle press out into our band, into our resistance. From here, we're going to keep that position. That's it. And we're going to turn the palm up. Elbows go out wide. Find length through the body, through the sitting bones. And inhale and exhale here, keeping this position. So we're keeping length. The sitting bones are lovely and level. Soften in the ribs for me. Slightly tuck the chin and gently press down into the backs of the hands. Good. One more big deep breath here. And then you can let it relax. And we notice what our posture wants to do. So we come back through, finding our sitting bones, sitting up lovely and tall, feet in parallel, gentle press out into the legs. We're just activating through the outside of the thighs a little bit. From here, I want us to move only through the pelvis. So you're going to roll off your sitting bones and then back onto your sitting bones. So you don't have to necessarily collapse the body. You're doing your pelvic tilts, rocking and rolling through the pelvis. And you notice the rest of the body and the spine follows suit. That's it. Good. One more time here. Then from here, we're going to cross the arms across the body. And we're just going to take a cross arm rotation. So it's just that. Cross arms, sitting bones level, feet in parallel, gentle press out into our band, our tights. And we're going to exhale, soften and rotate around to one side of the room. So taking a peek over to your left. And then coming back through to center. Lengthening through the body and then rotating around to your right maybe. And back through to center. Trying to keep the sitting bones lovely and level, not letting the knees rock back and forth. Exhale, soften, rotate. And center. And then the other way. And center. We'll take that a little bit further now. We're going to sweep our fingertips out in front of us. Going for our bow and arrow. Shuffle around onto an angle for you. We're then going to start to draw the right elbow back behind us. So sitting bones stay level. Knees still have the same space between the knees and the feet. As we draw the right elbow back behind us, take our gaze back there as well. At the same time, you could reach the other arm forward even more, rotating in your rib cage, rotating in the thoracic, sending your gaze, and then send those fingertips forward. And we switch through to the other side. Left elbow starts to draw back. Take a look at the left thumb. Reach those right fingertips forward and send it through. And again, bow and arrow style. And through and the other way. That's it. Keeping sitting bones level, the knees level as well. Allow the arms to swing down by your side. Keeping our focus on our thoracic, so we've rotated it. We've done a tiny bit of flexion extension. We'll take that further. We want to take a little look at our side bend. So arms drop by your side. We start to reach the right fingertips down and we allow the ear to follow. Just taking a gentle side bend. So if you're about to reach down for something directly below that shoulder and through to center and then reach through the left. And center. Sweep that left arm up towards the ceiling. Exhale, soften. Reach the right arm down. So send that energy down so the shoulder goes away from the ear. And then you can bend and yawn open through this left side even more. Soft ribs, even sitting bones. Watch the knees wanting to drop back together. So we've got a little bit of active press out the whole time. And then coming back up, left hand starts to draw down. Right arm sweeps up. Soften and pour yourself over to the side. Big side bend. Good, watching all the body and its little things that it wants to do to help you. It will find the path of least resistance and come back through to center. Take the shoulders for a little shrug. Taking our focus now to why we've got this band on. We're going to have a knee lift. So we're finding an even balance through both sitting bones. Lovely, long, tall spine. We're going to gently push down into the left foot and allow the right knee to float up. That's it. Without kind of slumping. So obviously I could pick my leg up if I hang back in the chair. So we stand down to knee float. And then we bring the right foot down. It finds the floor. The sitting bones are like 2 extra feet. And then we float the left leg up. And you can have your hands on your hips helping to give that sense of weight. Folding and finding that easy crease. One side will be a little bit easier or softer than the other. That's it. And we want to keep the spine lovely and long and tall. Checking in if we're rocking and rolling in order to pick up the legs. So can we keep the body long as if we were lying on the floor, and we're doing some extra 90-90 knee floats here. That's it. Notice little walking patterns coming in. Of course, we want to move side to side. We want to shift. Our body actually wants to rotate pretty easily. So I want you to take that out and really work the deep lower abdominal muscles and psoas. That's it. From here, we can bring ourselves around. You can take this off the legs now or undo your band or the tights, put it to one side. Feet are back into parallel and we go for our flexion. So we soften the chin to the chest, slide the breastbone, roll the ribs, and we're sliding the hands to just over the knees. Then using a little bit of energy from our feet, we stand down into our feet and into our sitting bones, into our bottom to unroll from the base of our spine all the way up. Inhale to lengthen, exhale, soften the chin to the chest. Slide the breastbone, roll the ribs, pouring yourself forward to just beyond the knees with those hands, and then come all the way back up. On the next one, we're going to go a little bit further down the shin. So we're lovely and tall. Again, we're not rocking back. And you forward fold over. So you're keeping your pelvis where it is as you're doing your roll down to your knees and all the way back up. Inhale, exhale, soften. Good, taking our flexion even further. We're now going to go all the way to our toes. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, soften the chin to the chest. Slide the breastbone, roll the ribs. We glide the hands over the knees. They continue to down to the shins. We notice the ribs have to move even more. As we go beyond our toes, we're actually starting to rotate and spiral in the pelvis. So you'll feel your sitting bones actually shine back behind you a little bit. Hanging out, resting on your thighs if you want to. And then stand into the feet to address getting that pelvis rolling and back down onto the seat and uncurl all the way up to seated. Inhale. Exhale, soften chin to chest. Slide the breastbone, roll the ribs, pouring yourself forward over the body. And then unroll all the way up. Nice and easy. Take your time. Great, coming back through, have a little shake out there. If your band is close, go and grab it again. I'm just going to show you with a theraband. So if you've got the loop band, keep it. If you were using a theraband, same thing, it comes to create a little knot here. Maybe glue the legs together a little bit so you've got a good bit of resistance. If you're using the loops, they're pretty short. And we're just moving into some hip openers in the band. So our feet are in parallel, our sitting bones are level. And it's almost a bent knee opening that we do on the mat. So you're going to roll through the foot, shuffle back a little bit, and allow the knees to open and then close. Now again, this is another one where the body wants to do little weird things, send the chest forward in order to do this. So try to keep lovely and quiet through the spine. And press out into the band, rolling onto the edges of the feet. And the legs are in this 90-90, so sitting bones, knees, and then feet down onto the floor. And we're pushing out, so we're checking our external rotation with resistance. And then the ability to come back with the same quality with assistance of the bands. So you're not just letting them fling in. So it's just about it's as much about pushing out, sorry, as it is about allowing the knees to soften and come back in, and drawing out, and back in, and drawing out, and back in. Sometimes it helps to do the arms. Good. From here, we want to take a little look at single leg isolation. So we ground down and stand into this leg, and then we're pressing out and yawning through this one. Now we'll notice the body either wants to rotate and help, or the knee wants to come with us. So can you keep a little eye on that rested foot? Bring your hand back to this hip, and we're taking a look at its true external rotation into resistance, building strength and control, and also clearing away any cobwebs in that hip. Good. Back through the center, this hand comes onto this knee, and we take a little look at the range of mobility in the opposite hip joint. So it's the ball and socket joint, having that external rotation, noticing anything that wants to happen in the body. Often we start to get the upper body rotating, the knees want to go away from each other, or they want to come with you. So just isolate in this hip joint, rolling on the outside edge of the foot for me. Come back through the center. You can have a little shake off there. Good. And then we want to go for that double again. So they're moving in symmetry together, rolling on the feet and calming back in. And just notice if it's getting any easier. If in fact they can go a little bit further. Good. Lovely. And through. Now release the band fully. Putting it to one side. Have a little shake out there through the legs. And we're going to take ourselves further into a bit more of an open lunge. So we're going to get you to turn around to the side. So for example, I've turned to my left. My right leg and my right hip, my right buttock can then soften off the edge of the chair a little bit. Send your bum back into the chair as well, so you're sat on the full of it as much as possible. And then start to send that right leg back behind you, allowing the knee to drop down towards the floor. So you can use the chair as much as you want to wriggle into this position. Allow that knee to drop away. Feel free to give it a little bit of a shake. You're allowing that hip to open. Listening to what the body has to say. See if you can soften the ribs so you keep lovely length here. We're dropping down almost into Z-sits. And then we can take a little peek. So we're going to take a look over the back of the chair. Bring your hands around to hold on to the chair and taking a twist at the same time. Keep letting that knee drop down towards the floor nice and relaxed. Unravel, come back through the center, sweep the right leg through, shuffle back through to the middle, and then we turn around to the other side. So we turn fully in the chair, keeping the chair where it is, send ourselves back into the chair, and then keep the inside thigh on the chair and just slightly shuffle to get this outside sitting bone off a little bit. Then send that leg back, dropping through the knee. Notice how this side feels in comparison to the other. Little shake out here, allow all that fascia to drop away. You're trying to let the thigh bone sink and soften to hang almost from the hip joint. And then we can start to rotate. So I'm going to take both hands, I'm going to frame and hold on to the back of my chair and help myself rotate around. Soften your ribs back towards the spine, lengthen through the neck, so maybe tuck the chin. Good, you might get the odd click or clunk if you're lucky coming back through. Shake off here. We then want to take a little look at our ability from sit to stand. So coming side on, we're sat slightly from the middle to the end of the chair, sitting bones level, feet in parallel. When we go to stand, our body weight shifts forward and then we propel it forward and up. But often that isn't the case. We keep our head down. We have to support ourselves. We're using other things. There's a whole hook to get up there. So we're going to hip hinge forward fold. So we feel the weight go down into the feet, which is enough to allow us to let the bottom hover off the chair and then sit back down. That's it. So hip hinging. We're sending our sitting bones back. We send our weight forward into our feet. When our feet go down, something goes up, usually our bottom. And then we want to keep that lovely energy, this lovely long spine of ours. It doesn't change its position, so it just hinges forward. The weight goes down into the feet. As the feet go down, the head, the spine continue up through to standing. And then to come back through, we can open in the sitting bones so that the sitting bones go wide, crease and fold. Keep that lovely long length. Now I tend to reach my hands forward as an opposition so I can slow down the sitting with lovely mindful control. I'm going to come side on as well. So we hip hinge forward. The weight goes into the feet. Now feel the full of the feet going down, and then send your energy, the crown of your head, up and away from you to come to seated, sit to stand, sorry, my apologies. And then sweep the fingertips forward, opening the sitting bones, bend in the knees. Nothing changes its position. The chair is still there. You're going up the same way as you come down. That's it. Feel free also to put the band around your thighs if you want to double check. Often we can have an Elvis impersonation going on. So if you wanted to, you could check a band around the outside of the thigh, so you've got something to press out into, or you could squeeze a pillow in between the knees. Sometimes that can help. So again, hip hinge forward, weight goes into the feet, crown of the head, reaching up and away. And again, we open the sitting bones and we're sinking back down on that diagonal through our spine with control. And what we want is that lovely ease with which it happens. Fabulous. Last one, come all the way up to standing. Great. Take any bands or props off that you've been using. And we come to some standing work. So I'm going to bring my chair side on. Place our left hand onto it. Bring our feet into a Pilates V. So you're rotating from the thighs. You're coming into effectively what looks like a bit of a first position. And the chair is there to support you. A fingertip touch for balance. We let our weight sink down into the left foot. So we're not dropping into the left hip. We sink and stand down into the left leg, growing tall through that side using our left fingertips. And we're going to send the right toes out to the side and then bring the heel in and then send it forward and bring the heel in and send it to the side and then draw back in. Then you send the leg back behind you and in to the side and in to the front. And in. So your other hand can be wherever you want it to be. And we're just moving in these 3 points, side, front, back, side, in what we would call tendus in ballet. Again, we're not sitting into this hip, so still think about growing tall through this side, using this as your extra leg. So you've got these 2 legs and this leg can now become an arm. It wants to be able to get out from underneath the hip really easily. Good. Last one. You feel the standing leg starting to work quite hard now. And we come in. Have a little shake off. I'm going to switch my chair around to the other side. So we're growing tall through that right now. Your hand is out to gently touch onto the chair just for a little bit of balance. Gives the body a little bit of feedback to open up. Same thing. Once we find that length through the standing side, the supporting side, we're able to release that leg. If we haven't got that length, getting that leg in and out is a little bit tricky. So it's going out to the side and in, to the front and in, to the side and in, send it back and in, and side, in, front, in, side. Keep lifting out of that standing leg. Use the chair, use the right foot down into the floor, the toes, the heel. Good. Fabulous. Here comes our last repetition, sending it back behind you, out to the side, and in. Have a little soft bend, a little wriggle off there. So then we're going to bring our chair around so that the seat of the chair is facing us. We stand slightly back from the chair and you're back in that Pilates V, just so the angle of the hips and the pelvis are in their right positioning. Use the chair, use the wall if you need to, but you're going to bring this leg up onto the chair. So this leg is slightly in front of me on the chair. I can't open like that. So you've got this lovely V and it's slightly in front. And you'll notice you can take your weight into that foot. So you start to move into a lovely yawning lunge. Now I know that some of you like to move this foot back a little bit and get a little bit more. So feel free to play around with that. Good. Keeping this lovely openness through the front of the body. We can then take a soft bend towards it, not too much. Always keep the knee over the ankle. Place this hand down, hand or elbow down onto the bent knee, and then yawn open through this side of the body. So this hand is coming up and over. So we get this lovely side bend from the foot all the way up to the fingertips. Soften the ribs back, reach through. Good. We can open up here, breathing into this lovely big side bend, this lovely side flexion. Coming back through, allow it to soften. We're then just going to bring the hand out to the side and sweep it across the horizon. You'll come into that lunge and then draw the elbow back behind you. So again, you're sweeping across the horizon and then just fold and bring the hand past your collarbones, reaching back behind you. One more time. Good. And then gently bring that leg off. Have a little shake out. Switching it around to the other side. Same thing, coming into our Pilates V near the back end of the chair. Standing down into that left leg to float the right leg up and send it forward onto the chair. So it's slightly to the front, still on that diagonal. They're both reaching out, my toes are. And I start to take a gentle lunge into it. So you're just checking in how this feels, how steady it feels. And often some people like a wider stance. Keep a soft bend in the knee, this standing leg as well, so it's not really locking out. That's it, softening the ribs. Okay, have a little tap onto the chair if you want to. Lovely. We send the knee over the ankle, so it wants to stay there, so there's a lovely opening. Bring the elbow down onto the knee, and we start to pour and reach that left hand up and over. Now you're opening up through the left hip, but you're hugging the bottom ribs back, so try not to flare. It's not a back bend, it's a side bend. Feel free to soften into the lunge a little bit more. Relax the head, the jaw. Good, and then we stand through. Then we bring this arm out to the side and we're sweeping it across the body and then cutting it across the chest, gently looking back behind us. And again, coming out on the diagonal, back behind you. Check your horizon one more time. Back behind you. Coming into that standing leg briefly to lift the right leg off. Again, have a little shake out. And then turn to face your chair. Bend and soften in the knees, soften the chin to the chest, round the spine and bring your hands onto the chair, either side, right in the middle. Here we're moving through our cat-cow again, so push down into the chair, down into your feet and exhale, round your spine, nose to pubic bone. You can always keep a soft bend in the knees. And then inhale, open the sitting bones. Allow your spine to undulate through and you'll find you'll want to bend your knees even more to get into that extension of the spine. Exhale, soften, cat stretch. Inhale, open, send the sitting bones back behind you, the chest through, your gaze as well. And exhale. Inhale, open. Exhale, soften, round the spine. One more time, send the sitting bones back out behind you. Stick your bottom back out behind you. Let the spine undulate through. Exhale, rounding through the spine. Walk your hands back along the chair and unroll all the way up to standing. Have a little shake off there. We finish by inhaling and reaching the arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, push down in front of you. Inhale to take a big jumper off. Exhale to push the ceiling away. Inhale here. Exhale, soften, round and contract over that massive beach ball. Have a little shake out and maybe shimmy the shoulders as you unroll, wriggling it all out to come up to standing. Inhale, shoulders up. Exhale, soften, side them down with relief. One more time. And let it all go. Great work.